Let us talk about fractional part of x, dear students. We have understood about integral part of x. Now let us understand fractional part of x and particularly the graph of fractional part of x. Look at this once again. When x lies between 0 and 1, when x lies between 0 and 1, integral part of x is clearly 0. Fractional part of x is x. This we have understood just now. Between 1 and 2, integral part of x is 1. Fractional part of x is x minus 1. Between 2 and 3, integral part of x is 2. Fractional part of x is x minus 2. Between 3 and 4, integral part of x is 3 and fractional part of x is x minus 3. Between minus 1 and 0, integral part of x is minus 1 and fractional part of x is x plus 1. And between minus 2 and minus 1, integral part of x is minus 2, fractional part of x is x plus 2. Is that correct? Now let us understand fractional part of x graph. First let me mark the values 1, 2 and 3 on number line. See, on x axis I am marking 1, 2, 3, 4 and this is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and so on. The maximum value should be 1. I will explain why or how it is 1 later. Right. Between 0 and 1, fractional part of x is x. Between 0 and 1, fractional part of x is x. This is the graph of y is equal to x, right? Between 0 and 1, y is equal to x is this, right? When x is 0, it is 0. When x is 1, excluding 1. So this is actually x. When x lies between 0 and 1, fractional part of x is x. Between 1 and 2, fractional part of x is x minus 1. Do you agree with me? This is the graph of this is the line y is equal to x minus 1. It meets y axis at 0, minus 1. Slope is 45 degree. So clearly this should be fractional part of x if x lies between 1 and 2. So the equation of this particular line is y is equal to x minus 1. The line y is equal to x minus 2 is clearly like this. Is that correct? All these lines are parallel to each other. This is 0, minus 2. So this is actually y is equal to x minus 2. Between 2 and 3, it is x minus 2. Between 3 and 4, it is x minus 3 and so on. Whereas between minus 1 and 0, the graph is clearly like this. Between minus 2 and minus 1, it is like this. This is x plus 1, this is x plus 2, this is x plus 3 and so on. If you observe carefully here, dear students, what we can conclude? See, if you observe carefully, if you look at the graph carefully, the least value of fractional part of x is 0 because it touches x axis. The maximum value is 1, but it is excluding 1. So therefore, fractional part of x lies between 0 and 1, including 0 and excluding 1. See, fractional part of x belongs to 0 to 1 only, irrespective of x, for all x belonging to set of real numbers. Fractional part of x belongs to 0 to 1. So Can we say something about domain and range here, dear students? What is domain and range of the function? Y is equal to fractional part of x. Least value is 0, maximum value is 1. So the range should be between 0 and 1. Whereas domain means you can give any value for x here. Therefore, domain should be x belongs to set of real numbers. Is that correct? See, domain, that is domain of the definition is x belongs to set of real numbers. Range of the function. Range is y belongs to 0 to 1. Can we say something more than this, dear students? Look at the graph. If you look at the graph carefully, fractional part of x is a repetitive function. In short, it is a periodic function. What is the period of this? Period of this function is equal to 1. See, between 0 and 1 it is x. Between 1 and 2 it is x minus 1. Between 2 and 3 it is x minus 2. So if you observe carefully, there is a difference of 1. So fractional part of x is a periodic function with period is equal to 1. See, period of the function is equal to 1. So this is a periodic function. Understanding this, dear students? See, sin x is a periodic function with period as 2 pi, cos x with period as 2 pi, mod sin x is a period with pi, whereas fractional part of x is a periodic function with period as 1, right? Dear students, now let us understand fractional part of x square. It's a very simple graph. You can easily analyze this. Look at this. If x lies between 0 and 1, integral part of x is 0. What is integral part of x? Square. That is 0 square. That is clearly equal to 0. Is that correct? If x lies between 1 and 2, integral part of x is 1. What is integral part of x whole square? That is 1 square. That is equal to 1. If x lies between 2 and 3, integral part of x is 2 and square of that is 2 square. That is equal to 4. If x lies between 3 and 4, integral part of x is 3 and the square of that is 3 square. That is equal to 9. If x lies between minus 1 and 0, integral part of x is minus 1. Integral part of x whole square is minus 1 square. That is equal to plus 1. If x lies between minus 2 and minus 1, integral part of x is minus 2. The square of minus 2 is minus 2 square. That is equal to plus 4. So with this knowledge, let us draw the graph of integral part of x whole square. Between 0 and 1, it is 0. Between 0 and 1, it is 0. This is 0 and this is 1. Between 1 and 2, it is once again 1. It is just similar to integral part of x graph. Whereas between minus 1 and 0, it is plus 1. Between minus 1 and 0, it is actually plus 1. Plus 1 is clearly like that. Between minus 1 and 0, it is plus 1. Between 2 and 3, it is 4. This is 1, this is 2, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So between 2 and 3, it is actually 4. Is that correct? This is 4. Do you agree with me? Between 3 and 4, it is actually 9. This is 3, right? And 9 somewhere comes here. Between -2 and -1, it is +4. Between -2 and -1, it is +4. +4 means somewhere here it comes. Exactly, fine, this is sync. This is the graph of greatest integer function, square of it, or rather we can say integral part of x square. See dear students, the least value of this is 0, right? And it is always above x-axis. Integral part of x whole square is definitely above x-axis, and by default, except for x is equal to 0 to 1. So I hope dear students you have understood how to draw the graph of integral part of x square, right?
ಡಿಯರ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ನೀವು ದಿವಿಗೆ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಚಾನಲ್ಗೆ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಹೇಳಿ, ಇದೇ ಥರ ನೂರಾರು ವೀಡಿಯೋಸನ್ನು ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿ.